Coming to you from the heart of the Dirty 30, it's South Alabama's #1 podcast, Drive Time with DJ and KJ.
Good Tuesday morning, back at it. And welcome to Drive Time, the best worst show ever. Good morning, Sandy Kirkland, Tracy Miller. Good morning to you, Tracy. Hot Rod's in. Gord's in. Good morning, Gord. Kimberly Blair, Jordan Rowland, Miss James. Good morning, Miss James. Johnny
morning,
Sims.
Mother.
Johnny Sims is in. Good morning to you. Kimberly Peebles. Miss Gail Kurtz in from Mobile this morning. Good morning, Miss Gail.
Morning, Miss Gail.
Jesse James. Good morning, Jesse James. Danny Smith. John Blair. Naomi Lindsay. Good morning to you. Sandy Townsend. Good morning, Miss Townsend. Wanda Green's in. Good morning. Karen Peters. Good morning to you. Josh Martin. Good morning. Doug O'Barr. Good morning, my friend.
Morning, neighbor.
Tammy McBrayer. Good morning. I talked about DJ Fountain the other day.
Yes, you did.
Hey, her son Tony, remember that name, going to be a freshman, going to do big things up there probably starting this year. Tony McBrayer. Good morning, Tammy. Johnny Sims, I think I caught you already. Joshua Gibson, good morning to you. Miss Carol, good morning, Miss Carol. Jeff Robinson, good morning, good sir. Tracy Steele, good morning to you. Louise is in. Good morning, Louise.
Louise.
And good morning, Ken Wood.
Good morning, DJ. What's happening on this little warmer than usual morning in Studio B? I gotta hate when you forget to turn that AC on.
Hey, it happens.
Well, it did.
It happened. It gets us acclimated for the day.
Yeah. I won't be near as I guess caught off guard when you walk outside. So if you see beads of sweat start popping up on DJ and myself, just know that it's a little warm in here right now. Now, we do have another one pumping pretty good, so hopefully the AC will catch up over there. But anyway, Tuesday, July 21st, and another day in paradise.
Good morning, Coach. Let me ask you this. Looking at the backdrop, you knew it was going to be a bad day at school when the fluoride wagon came rolling down the hall.
I want to tell you something. The thing that I knew was fixing to be, like, I literally, when you said, let me tell this real quick. So I get an email, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, roughly, somewhere, 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes before the show. Mm-hmm. I get a text, from DJ, and it's this fluoride and the plastic cup. And I was like, oh, no. And so, you talking about knowing it was a bad day at school. This kind of took me back. I don't know if I've heard people talk about how bad castor oil is. I don't think castor oil could be as bad as that stuff right there.
This stuff was terrible.
You said it a while ago. Was it legal?
I don't know. I don't remember waivers being signed. I don't remember. Maybe it was part of the paperwork that went home during the. I don't know, but I just know it was hard to recover from that. It was the first thing in the morning, and it was as hard to redirect the day after the fluoride wagon came through your classroom. It
really was. It really was. I'm telling you. Good morning, Johnny Sims, Joshua Gibson, Miss Carol. Good morning. Jeff Robinson, Tracy Steele. Good morning, Tracy. JP the coach. Good morning, JP. Cody Fowler, Sandy Kirkland. Good morning, Leroy. Good morning, Chevy Ann. Good morning to you too. Latanya Fountain. Good morning, Latanya. Jesse James. I think you might have got hurt. Let's see. You must have sweat on the limb. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be sweat on something. But so we were talking about kind of the difference. So they brought the wagon around with you guys, I guess, to each class? To
each class. I remember, I have a vivid memory. If you remember the old middle school.
Yes.
I remember having it in elementary school, but my memory that I can go back to was from middle school. I was in the 5th grade, and if you remember the 5th grade wing, there was a courtyard area between the 5th grade wing and the 6th grade wing. And that whole wall that faced the courtyard was windows.
That's right.
So you could, in 5th grade, you could look through your windows into the 6th grade classroom.
Yes.
You couldn't necessarily make out who was in there, so to speak,
Right.
but you could see activity going on
Sure.
in the classrooms. For some reason, this particular morning, they started the fluoride wagon on the 6th grade wing as opposed to us. And I remember we were sitting in Miss Ballard's class. I can remember like it was yesterday. We're sitting there playing paper football. We're throwing it back and forth. And Jim McInnes looks up, and he looks over there. This is 5th grade. And Jim McInnes goes, damn.
Miss Ballard.
I'm sitting here with him. I'm sitting here with my field goal post. Damn. Game was over, man. I mean, game was over.
Oh, man.
And we sat there.
How could it not be?
It was just like, it was like dying a slow death. You'd see them go from Miss Boyd's class to Mr. Hamilton's to Miss Dixon to Mr. Howell to Miss Brake, and here they come our way.
It's like the Jaws music.
Oh, God.
That's all you could hear. Well, I remember it in elementary school.
God.
And they made, I think, what'd you say? What grade were you in when you went to that new elementary?
First grade.
We were the first class? That's right.
We were the first class.
So instead of bringing it around to the pods, they would set up those cups, those plastic cups, in the gym on that rubber floor.
Yeah.
And you'd have to go in and you sit down next to one of those cups and you'd have to take that junk and swish it around in your mouth and then spit it back in that cup and put that napkin down in the stuff that you spit back in that cup. Now, I'm going to say this. I know there's a lot of craziness out there with Corona and all this kind of stuff, but I'm pretty convinced that the reason a lot of us made it through a lot of stuff back in those days is because we were able to take that stuff right there.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
It was terrible. I don't know when that program discontinued, but it was awful. I don't remember doing it in high school, so I guess somewhere in middle school it must have played out for us. I don't know.
I think it come out and got banned. I think they said, and I may be wrong. Somebody can correct me, and I may be. But I want to say they said it was not good, actually, after they came out for so many years and made us do it for your teeth. I want to say they come out and said it may not have been that good for you. I think small doses is fine, but we didn't get small doses.
Oh, no.
You got a plastic cup full.
I can't remember. I can't remember how often we had those. If it was once a grading period, if it was once a month, I can't remember. I can't remember how often it came by, but I just remember that was a great way to have a bad day.
Good morning, Timmy Wiggins, Sharon Smith. Leroy said it was even worse when you saw someone bringing back the yak absorbent.
That happened.
That happened a lot.
That was automatic. Somebody was going to respond poorly to it. That was going to happen.
Now, Cody said they had bubblegum flavored fluoride. It wasn't that bad. Well, guess what? We did not.
I don't know what you would have called that flavor. It had a very distinct taste to it, but it was awful. It was awful.
I can tell you what I called it. It's a 3-letter word, and it's a synonym for buttocks.
Ooh, it was terrible.
I can tell you, it's what it tastes like.
It was terrible.
I mean, it was awful. Good morning, Sarge. I'm telling you, it really was, and I don't know that they make anything as bad as that.
If this show were a rinse, it'd be that.
Hey, that's a fact. You know what? That's another great slogan, motto, whatever you want to call it.
If drive time were a rinse, it'd have been the fluoride treatment from the 70s and 80s.
We'd be the funky fluoride from the 70s and 80s. Oh, man. I will tell you, like, when you'd walk in the gym and the coaches would start apologizing because it was that day,
man,
like when you walked in. How do you tell a bunch of first graders, listen, you're about to have to drink puke, and you're probably going to puke, some of you.
Yeah.
And I remember Coach Branson. You remember Coach Branson?
Oh, yeah.
Coach Branson, he'd get over there and he'd say, look here. He said, now, I've got to make sure all of you put it in your mouth, as far as just taking the cup, swishing it around. He said, now how long it stays is completely left up to you. You're supposed to, you remember, they got, I don't know how they did it with y'all, but they put on this music while you were swishing. And it was supposed to be so many seconds or whatever to swish it around. He never did that. He was one of them that was like, ever how long you do is ever how long you do. So I just know that was a wake-up call this morning when you sent that to me. If I wasn't awake,
I don't know why I was thinking about it. I don't know why I woke up thinking about it.
Why were you thinking about Tang last week?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
gonna tell you, man.
Wild.
You talk about not being creative, and I got to be honest with you. I think you're a lot more creative than you think you are. I just think it's
demented.
Well, yeah, that's a great word for it. I mean, I think that demented, maniacal, devious. I don't know if it's devious. That's a bad word. But probably sick.
Yeah. I don't have too many vivid memories from 5th grade, but that's one of them. I remember that day like it was yesterday.
I do too. Oh man. Let's see here. So Cody said the only time he remembers doing that is in 4th grade. Double J said the bubblegum flavor was great. Well, guess what? That was way after our time.
I never had it.
We never had no bubblegum flavor. Danny says, maybe I blocked it out, but I don't remember doing this. Fluoride is a poison. We were just listen, if I'm not badly mistaken, the reason they quit is because of that. I may be wrong. John Blair, tab flavored fluoride.
Oof.
Golly.
Oof.
That may be worse than what it already was.
Bad stuff.
Let's see. King Kane says, anybody remember Banaka toothpaste? I don't remember that.
I do not.
It was nasty. Fluoride treatment with a side of red lice treatment. The only thing I remember about lice from like elementary school, middle school, is having to go to the library, media center, whatever they called it, and they had 2 or 3 people there that you'd sit down and they'd run their fingers all through your hair. Do you remember that?
I do.
But I don't remember getting treatments for lice. Do you?
I do not. I was never a carrier, as far as I remember.
Well, me either.
But I do remember them checking.
Yeah. I remember the checks, but I don't ever remember getting anything like that. So I do remember the checks for sure. How about that? Jeff Robinson said Coach Branson and his family was one of their neighbors.
He had a son, little Doug.
Yeah.
He was probably 3 or 4 or 5 years younger than me. He's probably about your age.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly where he fell, but yeah, they were good folks.
Good morning, Mando Gwen. What about everyone having to see the school nurse to have a pencil run through your hair? Well, let me say this. We didn't have a school nurse.
We didn't have one either.
We didn't have one in elementary, middle, or high school.
I remember our school nurse was Mr. Hamilton. And he just told you to deal with it.
I was about to say, the school nurse that I remember at the middle school, when you're on the 5th or 6th grade wing, was Mr. Hamilton.
Yeah.
When you're on the 7th, 8th grade wing, was Mr. Baggett.
Mr. Baggett, yeah, that's right.
And you know what Mr. Baggett would do? He'd say, I tell you, that's nothing that 3 legs won't solve. And guess what? He was right.
He was right.
I'm going to tell you something. Did he ever put that board on you?
Yeah.
Did that man have an uppercut like Tyson did, or is it just me?
That is another vivid memory. And shockingly enough, Jim McInnes was involved in that as well.
It's very vivid for me.
But it happened at the end of the school day. We were coming from shop, industrial arts. That was a great class that Ramsey Huffman taught over there. And too much horse playing going on towards the end of the day. And it was Miss Langham, 8th grade English teacher, Carolyn Langham. She was trying to reprimand us, and the bell had rung. School was officially over. When we were on campus, it was Jim and I, John Hart, Stephen Brown. Cookie Hart.
Yeah.
Stephen Brown.
Brown Dog.
And I want to say Clay Braswell. And she was trying to reprimand us, and Cookie Hart's mother came up in the van, and we fled and got in the van and left. And I remember the whole night, this was Cook had called me all night. He said, you think we're going to be in trouble? tomorrow. I said, no, man, it's over with. I said, that was yesterday. Tomorrow's been.
What were y'all doing?
We were over horse playing, and
Who was trying to reprimand you?
Miss Langham.
Oh, okay.
We were coming out of Mr. Huffman's class.
Sure, yeah.
Industrial arts.
Right.
But the bell had rung. School was technically over. We got off campus. We thought it was a done deal. Cook worried about it all night. Thought that there was going to be a price to pay when we came back. I said, man, it's over. I said, it's a new day.
We got it, man.
It's done.
We made it.
Next day, morning announcements. Mr. Baggett called us all to the office, and he didn't mince words and he didn't play around. He said, y'all know what's fixing to happen. Who wants to go first? And Jim McKinnish went first.
Oh, Vernon.
And I jumped in right behind him, and it was 2 to the backside, and they didn't have any trouble out of us for a couple of weeks.
Oh, Vernon, I'm gonna tell you. Let's see, Clausell. I was an adult before I found out why I never got called to the lice check line.
Come on, man.
Clausell, you ain't right, man. All right,
pretty good, Russell.
That's the post of the day so far.
That's pretty good.
That's good. Oh man. Let's see. Yeah, Latanya said it seemed like they always did lice check on pick day.
You know,
I mean, and back
there's
then,
truth to that.
Think about it. Back then, we all had hair.
Oh, yeah.
And lots of it.
I had a fro.
Yeah, and it was like I had a bowl cut. You know, that's, I guess is what you'd call. I don't know. I mean, but it was a lot more hair than I've got now for sure. Hot Rod said Mr. Hamilton pointing his pointed finger. I'll tell you what, though. Mr. Hamilton was a regulator on that 5th and 6th grade wing, wasn't he?
You didn't play with Mr. Hamilton.
No, you didn't play around.
He's a good teacher, too.
He was. He really was. He really was. I tell you this, I later on in life enjoyed, Mr. Hamilton would stop by at the Ford store back when the old porch was on the front.
Yeah.
He'd sit out on the bench and we'd sit out and talk and visit and had a lot of great conversations with Mr. Hamilton. I'll tell you what he really was. He was very intelligent.
Very.
Highly intelligent.
Yes, he was.
And a good man on top of it. He was. So, but I tell you what, you talk about Mr. Baggett putting that board on you. He had that uppercut right before he got to you. You know, I mean, it was almost like a Kevin Madden curveball. It just right before it got to you, he come up on it. And I mean, man, it would pick you up off the ground, you know. So he was tough. And then on top of that, you had Sonny Steele as the principal. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the rumor went around for years that he had an electric paddle. Now, I don't know what that could have meant, but he put that rumor out because he said it to us many times in many assemblies. We didn't want to get hold of that electric paddle, and he kept some sort of electrical cord that ran from his drawer in his desk over to the wall. Now, for all I know, it could have been something, you know, whatever, just extension cord plugged in. But he sure made you think about it. You know, I mean, he did. He wasn't no joke. He was one of them. Did you ever have to go in there and sit down in front of Mr. Steele?
I never had to run in with Mr. Steele.
Well, let me just say this. One day in Miss Knoll's creative writing class, there was about 10 of us that were all sitting there. You know, Miss Knoll had her desk in a big circle in her room. They weren't in like rows. They were all in a big circle all the way around the room. Well, somebody in between, I was kind of in the middle, I guess, of it, but somebody, let's just say, broke wind. And you know how it is when you that age or whatever, we all fell out. So she just points at one person and said, from you all the way to you, go to the office. So she sent us all to the office. We get up to the office, and of course we having to go in there, and Mr. Steele calls all of us in at the same time. Now, it's 10 of us. I'm going to say 8 or 10 in the office at the same time. He looks at Boz. He said, Boz? Or he said, Josh, he said, I've been thinking about getting a new house built. He said, maybe I need to call Wendell and talk to him about maybe some house plans. And Josh like, no, sir, I don't think you need to do that. I think everything's okay. And he went on. Hazel was there. He said, Hazel, I've been thinking about landscaping the yard and maybe getting some new flowers here and there. Maybe I need to go down and see Martha and Wesley. Got over there to me and said, I've been thinking about getting some new furniture. I might need to stop by the. I'm like, oh, no, sir. You don't need to do that at all, So he went down the whole line talking that. And when he got to the end, he all looked at us. He said, listen, he said, and I swear it's what he said. He said, I can't help that y'all down there dealing with a crazy creative writing teacher. Going back to class.
Well, there you go.
And I thought we were in like big trouble, you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't like throwing off on Ms. Knoll. He was just like talking about the fact that she set 10 of us at one time up there,
Yeah.
So, anyway, that crazy, crazy times. Today's school is so much different from school back then.
Sure it is.
I mean, it just, in so many ways, elementary, middle, I don't even, Kinsley will be in the 4th grade this year, and I'm still not used to walking in that school and not walking into the pods. Now they're all closed in. I have no idea where I'm going in that place. I mean, I know, okay, this is the 4th grade hall or like door to go in, or the 3rd grade or whatever, first, second. But once I walk in there, I don't know where I'm at. It's like a maze to me.
I know that I see Jeff Robinson in and Hot Rod's in, and I think they'll remember this. I remember at middle school, and we inherited it. We did not come up with this. It was passed on to us, and I don't know if it got passed along to you guys or not.
Yes,
but the middle
he was. Jesse James said, was Mr. Hamilton the one that came and volunteered in the lunchroom after he retired? And he was. That was him. Yeah.
We called the cafeteria food at the middle school, we called it MOT, M-O-T, the MOT trot. So when it was your turn to go to lunch, it was the MOT trot. And that was, talking about having fun at school. That's when, it's time to make the MOT trot. And the teachers would play in on it.
Sure.
They'd say, hey, it's time for the MOT trot.
Sure.
We'd line up and go to the lunchroom. I don't know how long that lasted after we went through there, but we inherited that.
Let me ask you this. Did you eat the lunchroom food
yes, loved it.
at
loved
both
it.
schools?
Loved it. I'd eat it today.
I did
loved
too.
it.
I did too.
Loved it.
Now, I would take my lunch from time to time if they were having like tuna salad.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't eat that piece of lettuce and that tuna that they had on there. I don't think it was even real.
Well, you could buy the card, by the week, or I think it was by the week. Each when you came in that Monday, you paid $3
right.
or whatever it was, and they'd
stamp it,
punch your card.
That's right.
Yeah, I love the lunchroom food.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
Not try it.
Let's see here. Good morning, Fuquay. Let's see here. Coach Hart gave the hardest paddlings.
Never got hit by Coach Hart.
I didn't either. Good morning, Willie Campbell.
Good morning, Coach.
What's going on, man? Hot Rod says he had a picture of a sailboat on the floor for you to look at, and then Mr. Steele gave you a couple of licks. Yeah, he always gave 3. Yes, he did. And he didn't mind putting it on you. That's for sure. But I'm gonna tell you, I have to say, I got more of those from Mr. Baggett than I ever did Mr. Steele. I don't know that I ever got a paddling from Mr. Steele. But I did from Mr. Baggett for sure.
I got from Mr. Hamilton and from Mr. Baggett.
I didn't ever get one. I got close with Mr. Hamilton. Me and Fruna Fountain were having a big time doing exactly playing paper football back there one day in the back of the class, and while we were supposed to be watching a movie on some sort of something that he had playing, I don't remember exactly what it was, and we thought it was fun. Mr. Hamilton didn't think it was all that funny.
Mr. Hamilton had it was half of a bow and arrow set. He had half of a bow, like the handle and one side of it, and it was about that wide. And it was a flick of the wrist, and I asked for it. He gave me ample opportunity to shut up and do what I was supposed to do, and I did.
Oh, that's how he paddled.
Oh, yeah, and he got right across the leg, man. I'm telling you,
wow.
It would light you up.
I will tell you what I loved about, what was your favorite lunchroom dish?
It was always on Friday because you had the cinnamon rolls, the French fries, and the hamburgers.
Just go no further. I don't think Cinnabon can touch those cinnamon rolls.
You could not.
I mean,
They were as big as my head.
They were.
And
have you ever had anything better than that?
No, never.
Especially if you got hold of the ones that just came out of the oven. Have you ever had anything better than that?
Never.
I've never. No. And to this day,
you couldn't go to a bakery and find one as good as those. They were great.
And to this day, where do you get it from? You can't find. I'll tell you another thing. Rectangle pizza.
The pizza was good. The pizza was certainly good. But the cinnamon rolls was.
They were in a class all by themselves.
Yeah, they were the best.
They were.
They were the best.
I don't know where you could get those things from, but I promise you this: I would buy a case of them if I could. I don't even know if you can serve they can even serve stuff like that anymore. I'm not sure, but I know this. I know we looked forward to every Friday because you were going to have hamburgers. Now
French fries and cinnamon rolls.
They called them soybean
burgers.
Yeah. Soybean burgers.
Yeah.
But we had hamburgers, French fries, cinnamon rolls, and it seemed like there was something else, but I don't remember what else was on there.
It was the toppings for your hamburger if you want.
Oh, that's right.
Lettuce,
that's right. It was. That's right. In that center little tray. That's right. That's right. So I can tell you this: good times. Good time. And then you get to the high school, and it's like every man for himself. And you go to first lunch, second lunch, and I thought it was crazy. You're in the ninth grade, unless you were, I'm not going to name names of a few people. Most of us didn't have driver's license. Mm-hmm. So you had to look to other folks to go run and get in the truck with, and I thought that was the craziest thing in the world. First or second lunch, we'd run out and get in the truck. We'd run to Bracken's.
Oh, yeah.
Or we'd run to Hardee's, or we'd run to,
there was a lot
of Bracken's.
There would be a major crossing at Jack's. There was a big oak tree.
Yeah.
There was a big oak tree up there in the corner. And, of course, that was just a major, major crossing to Jack's.
Because back in those days, this was before they had local vendors coming in and serving food in the cafeteria.
My freshman year, Oaks came on Fridays, and that was it.
I remember. Well, let's see. When I got my freshman year, I want to think it was a pizza place, maybe Pizza Hut that came, maybe, but it was only on Friday. The rest of the time it was fend for yourself. So, let me ask this question. It's a serious question. How, and you may not know the answer to this, how does T.R. Miller High School not have a lunchroom that serves food? And I mean, I'm not trying to start, I'm not being a smart whatever. I'm actually seriously asking this question. I mean, how do they do that?
I don't know. I mean, it's been that way for 32 years or 35 years now. Coach, it went away my freshman year.
Yeah, Coach Cotton said he was the one that had all the shut it down. But he said it was because nobody would eat the food.
I don't know. My freshman year is when it went away.
But when I was there, the kitchen equipment was still back there.
It was back there when I was there, yeah.
But I understand now they don't even have any of that. It's just a cafeteria, like
I hadn't even been in there,
room
so I don't know.
To sit at and eat. I don't know. We all went outside.
Yeah.
Sat under the tree or trees or wherever. But a long time ago, that's a fact. Let's see here. Sarge said peanut butter cookies.
I like the oatmeal cookies. That was my favorite cookie they made. Once again, it was as big as my head.
Yes.
And I loved them.
Friday lunch the best, Latanya said. No doubt about it. The school pizza was great. Wanda Green, for no doubt. Sandy Kirkland agrees with us. Cinnamon rolls were the best. Miss Gail Kurt said her kids loved the pizza. It was, for sure. Let's see here. Timmy Wiggins said that Coach, he had a paddle that was cut down out of a Louisville Slugger. And he could hit home runs with that thing. Miss Wanda Green said they also had cornflake cookies. I don't know I've ever had one of those.
I don't know that I've had one of those either.
I don't either. let's see. Do we remember when you got in trouble with Miss Cooper? She would pull the heck out of your ear. I remember Miss Cooper, but I don't. Maybe I know. Back in them days, there's a lot of things they would do. I mean, let's see. Right, it's PB&J with artificial peanut butter. Was it artificial?
I don't think so.
Cody said he'd get the French fries and a cup of ranch dressing and sweet tea, and he was good. We didn't have no option for sweet tea.
I don't remember us.
We didn't have an option for ranch dressing either. It was 2% milk, white or chocolate or skim. And that was your choice. No water. You know, that's what you had to choose from. We buy Jeff Robinson said we buy what we call lunchroom pizza at the grocery store and love it. Mando Gwynn says Coach Salter will forever be in the Hall of Fame for his paddling ability, followed closely by Mildred Green. I always heard Coach Salter put one on you. Sarge said she thought it was a honey peanut butter sandwich. That may have been. I remember that too, Sarge. I think you're right because it was sweet. Let's see. Wendy Hanks said they would send Zeke to Oaks. Hey, guarantee you Zeke wouldn't mind, especially if you was Zeke get whatever you want now.
Yeah,
he'd be in on that. Let's see. Read books, get a personal pan pizza. I don't remember them ever offering us anything like that. Of course, none of us read very much either. So, how will TRM handle lunches this year with the virus? Have you heard anything on that?
I didn't think they served lunch.
Well, you know, I guess maybe she's talking about the elementary and middle school.
Oh, yeah. I have not heard.
I haven't either. I seemed like I think the elementary school might have come out yesterday and maybe said they were going to like have the lunches set outside the classroom. Maybe I'm not sure. I don't want to say too much because I'm really not sure. So, Latanya said her grandmother worked in the EMS or almost is it BMS cafeteria? Yeah, that's what. But and years after her retirement, she would still make cinnamon rolls. Well, I'll tell you what, lucky
God,
you, lucky you.
Latanya, lucky you.
Yes, lucky Latanya. JJ says school lunch is awful now. You know, I don't know what's going on there. What is going on there? Let me do this. Wait a minute. I don't know what's happening with that at the bottom there. That doesn't make good sense to me. What could be going on there? Yeah, that shouldn't be down. I don't know what that's doing at the bottom of the screen.
What are you talking about?
Do you see it or is it only me? Yeah. The bottom of the taskbar of the computer. I don't know why that's showing because it's not showing on my side at all. I don't know what's going on with that. I just changed the thing. Maybe it'll change when I roll that out. Anyway, so let's see. Cornflakes and peanut butter. Oof. Wanda Green said at Ripton High School, David Johnson had a paddle with 18 holes in it, and everyone called it the 18-wheeler.
I like that.
That's good.
I like that.
That is good. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Artificial peanut butter, artificial cheese. Middle school, we had tea, a quarter a glass. We didn't have tea. Did you have tea?
I don't remember tea being an option.
I don't remember that either. Yeah,
I remember at high school, juices were the option. It was like a fruit punch, and then maybe a orange flavored punch, and maybe a lemonade of some sort.
We had drink machines in the lunchroom when I got there.
We didn't have those.
And you could get Coke or Pepsi or whatever. I say Coke or Pepsi one. I don't remember which one it was, but I mean Dr. Pepper, what have you. I don't know if they can do that anymore this day and age. But I'll tell you this, talking about all that, getting back to the fluoride thing, I don't know when they stopped that, but I'm sure whenever they did, kids' immune systems were not built up as much as they were as ours were.
Between that and the mosquito spray repellent that everybody engulfed.
That the city
Yeah,
ran around blowing.
Yeah,
Man, when you heard that thing coming, you went to find shelter, didn't you?
Well, actually, we went to chase it. We got on our bikes and got right in the middle of it. I mean, took it in by the gallons.
So you enjoyed the smell?
I guess we did. I guess it was something to do. But I mean, you'd get on your bicycle. Of course, I see the way it runs now. It's nothing. It's like just a puff of smoke.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It would fill the whole 2-lane street.
Oh, that's a fact.
I mean, you just couldn't see. And we get on our bikes and we'd be right there in the middle of it.
If you happened to get behind that back in the day, you couldn't drive a car.
Yeah.
You couldn't drive a car behind.
Yeah.
So
between the fluoride and the poison for the mosquitoes,
it was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally.
Good morning, Aunt Faye.
So I want to, we were talking yesterday about the fluidity, if you will, the virus, things changing, things not changing, all this kind of stuff. Well, overnight or sometime yesterday, the CDC updated their website for quarantine and isolation. And I thought it was probably pertinent to talk about this since we were talking about some of this yesterday. And I have to keep up. I keep up with this every night just because of, the dealerships and that kind of thing. So this is about quarantine and isolation and people who have come into contact with positive patients. So for anyone who has been around someone who has tested positive, whether they are symptomatic or not, you're required to stay at home for 14 days. That has not changed, right? Or have a negative test, to come, keep working, that kind of thing. One of the big differences here is if you've been in contact with someone who has tested positive, meaning spending 15 minutes or more within 6 feet of that positive person, regardless if you did or did not wear a mask, you must quarantine for 14 days. The CDC is now walking away from the test-based method, meaning there's no longer a need to have 2 negative tests in order for people to return to work, school, or to travel. And again, this is goes back to what we were talking about the other day about things always changing with this. Mm-hmm. Well, it gets crazier. So there's no great need for people to go out and get tested if they are quarantined. Not recommending that be done anymore. It went on to say for people to stay at home for 14 days, do not get tested and stay at home until you ride out the 14 days of quarantine. For COVID-19 positive patients, symptomatic or asymptomatic, the period of time you must isolate at home is 10 days, and for the last 24 hours, people have to be symptom-free. No fever, no other symptoms, particularly respiratory symptoms. Straight from the CDC, we are no longer recommending that the test-based strategy. If you're COVID-19 positive, you should not get tested at all for at least 3 months after your first positive test.
Wow.
The CDC is not recommending retest for returning to work, school, or travel do not get tested for at least 3 months.
Don't tell Stokes.
Well, that's the reason I actually copied this.
Yeah.
Because is that not a dramatic, like complete dramatic turnaround?
A complete turnaround.
From what it has been?
Mm-hmm.
So there again, it begs the question, I don't honestly believe they have any sort of handle on this thing whatsoever.
It doesn't appear that they do.
I mean, we went from you got to have a test, you got to get tested, you got to have a negative test before you can return to work, return to anything. Now they're saying you're not supposed to get tested after you've tested for positive for 3 months.
For 3 months.
3 months. And now they're saying that if you test or if you're exposed to a COVID-19 positive person, that you were to quarantine for 10 days and
be symptom free the last 24 hours.
Well, no, that's if you're COVID, if you're positive.
Yeah.
If you've just been exposed, you're supposed to quarantine for 10 days. They're saying don't go take a test and don't go to be around anybody. They're telling you that basically what I took from this is that they don't rely or they don't have much faith in the test. I mean, is that not what you take from that?
Yeah, they're still just trying to figure it out, it sounds like.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I'm not trying to create, I don't mean to that. What I'm saying is that says to me that they are, if you're going to like reverse that whole testing thing that hard, I mean, there's something crazy going on right there. And what it is, I don't know.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. In early March, they were telling everybody just to hold on to the summer. The hot temperatures will kill the virus.
That's a fact.
If we can just get to the summer.
I mean, that is a fact. As of yesterday, Escambia County, Alabama, has 640 confirmed cases, has had. And how many do you say is the population of Escambia County?
Between 37 and 38,000.
Okay, so if we just do a little simple math here, let's just say 38,000, or let's just say 640 divided by 38,000. What does that say to you right there?
That almost 0.02% of the population is tested positive.
Almost. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know, but it seemed like Escambia County.
Well, we're labeled one of the hot spots.
Yeah, I saw a map of the state, and it showed ours wasn't the highest. We were the second highest.
Yeah, we're hot.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How is that possible with six? I mean, how is that possible?
I don't know. The number I keep in the back of my head, and of course, it's hard to know what to believe and who is giving you information that you can bank on. But I saw one report where before this is over with, between 60 and 80% of the population will test positive for COVID-19. Well, if you get in the middle of it, 70,000 of 38,000 is over 20,000 people.
Sure.
And we're at 600, and what'd you say?
40.
Okay. We're at 640. And if you choose to believe that report, there's going to be over 20,000 that'll be positive at some point in time.
CB said, I guess we won't know how many have it or where. And, and another good point, or they want the statistics to go down. And listen, there's obviously something, I don't know really how to say this in a way, like, there's just something crazy that's going on with that right there. I mean, I don't care who you are, and I don't care what anybody says, but to reverse course on what we have known to be this, and I understand if it's like medical certainty, reverse this course because this medication or this routine will help you get over. I understand that, but to say you're not supposed to go get a test now is just asinine to me. Is it not to you?
It's bizarre. Yeah, it's bizarre.
That's crazy. So
I would think that a month from now, the marching orders could be different again.
yes. So, 2% of 38,000 people, I see Sarge, you wanting to correct us on the math. So,
We said, yeah.
yeah, I think it's what you said, wasn't it? Almost 2%?
Almost.
Yeah. 0.02 is 2%. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, no, it's close, but still, I can tell you this. At our dealerships, if somebody is exposed, I don't care what that CDC website says, you're going to get tested.
Yeah.
Period. Let me say this. You can choose not to, but you're going home for 14 days. And, before you return, you're going to have a negative test. Now, I realize what the CDC website says. I can't help that. I'm just saying, I'd rather be overly cautious than not.
Sure.
And which begs another question, okay? And I saw that W.S. Neal High School put out yesterday that they've had an athlete or athletes test positive for COVID-19.
They posted that?
Yes.
School, like an official release.
From Andrew Williams, from Coach Williams.
Man, I hate to hear that.
I do too. But here's my question. With HIPAA and all this being the way it is, how or will they let parents know, other than doing that, what kid it was or kids that tested positive to know if their kid was exposed?
Well, that's a good question, and I don't claim to know how their workouts or practices are set up. But if a kid on the team is positive and my kid's on the team, I would probably assume that they were in contact.
Sure, but okay, move past the team. Move on into school.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say somebody in the what grades Lindsay going? 6th?
Yeah.
Somebody in the 6th grade test positive. There's 5 classes in 6th grade?
Something like that.
5 or 6. How are they going to notify parents other than saying we've had a positive test in the 6th grade? If there's 6 classes, your child may or may not have been exposed. Mm-hmm. So my question is, how are they going to, let parents know?
That's a good question. I don't have an answer for that.
Well, I don't know if anybody seen it or not, or saw it or not, but we have Superintendent John Knott of the Escambia County School System coming in live Friday morning to talk about reopening the Escambia County schools, as well as take questions and answer a lot of these questions. So I'm looking forward to being able to talk to John and ask him some of these questions, only because I'm curious. I'm not trying to be like combative or anything. I don't mean it that way. I'm just curious as to what kind of policy will be in place with that, because you got so many federal regulations with HIPAA and privacy and all these types of things. But is all that negated because of this pandemic, and the state of emergencies and all this kind of thing?
Well, I'm going to say this, and it's not my position to prep anybody for what Mr. Knott may or may not say, but it is still consistent with what we have said for a couple of weeks. People who are in decision-making positions, he is certainly one of them, they are in tough spots.
They are.
And
they're
having to make decisions that impact a lot of people, and I think we're showing each day they have incomplete information. And the information changes almost weekly, if not daily. So when he comes in here, I hope he has extended some courtesy in terms of how he tries to answer the questions. I don't know if it's going to be open book, if he's going to take everything and wants to keep it on a topic or two. But these folks are in bad spots.
They are.
They're in bad spots.
They are. They really are. So let's see here. Jeff Robinson, a WSN football player. I just saw as an athlete. They didn't say, but I'm going to assume a football player because of,
Okay, they probably have other sports. I mean, volleyball might be practicing. Basketball could be practicing.
I don't know.
Okay,
but they
So we
said
don't- okay, it's an
they said athlete.
Okay, so I
can't-
mistakenly said football player.
I can't say. I don't
Okay.
know if it. But, Jeff was asking.
Yeah.
Was a football? I don't know. PGP says, is it required to notify the school if you or your child test positive? There's another great question.
I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that either. And I mean, I know this. I know our policy is you better report it to us at the dealerships.
Yeah.
I know other businesses in town that their policy is that. But I'm going to say this, and this may rub some people the wrong way, and I don't mean for it to. And so I don't want, I'm not saying this in a smart aleck way or like trying to, take it down a pissy road. I'm not. But here's my question, DJ. The governor's mansion is shut down. The Capitol building shut down. Bruton City Hall shut down. East Bruton City Hall shut down. Now, if all of these government entities are shuttered to the public, what in the hell are we doing trying to start schools up and send teachers, kids, administrators, faculty members, because whatever? What are we doing? I mean, if you can shut all that down and say, stay out of here, what in the hell are we doing?
That's going to be a question for Mr. Knott.
Well, I
I don't have an answer for it. To answer your question, I don't know. I mean, that's a fair question. That's a very fair question. And, one of the things that we've talked about, and I was talking to Coach Hubbard yesterday for a few minutes, and the outlying variables that are associated with all this, whether it's school, whether it's athletics, whatever it may be, they're almost endless. And I'm not sure if a lot of thought has been given. We've talked about substitute teachers. We've talked about travel. I'll go as trivial, with a band and a football team. Are they going to be on a bus after a game coming home? Are they going to be 2 to a seat? Do you have enough buses to social distance? Getting kids to school. How are you going to get kids to WSNL that ride an hour on the bus? You're going to be at half capacity? I mean, there's just a lot of things in play here. I saw where they're advertising for school bus drivers.
That's right.
So, I mean, the number of moving parts in this that don't appear to have good answers for are going to be issues, and they will be issues from day one. They won't creep up, as school rocks on. They will be an issue on day one. How are you going to feed them? We've talked about that.
Sure. And
it's going to be it's a mess.
Let me say this as well. John Knott, he reached out to me about coming on the show. I can assure everyone that any question or anything, any conversations we have will be respectful, and we will keep it respectful and classy. This is not to batter on the superintendent.
No. And all the questions today have been legitimate questions.
Sure.
These are legit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, I want people to understand we're not.
Yeah, no.
This is not.
Agree.
This is not that.
Yeah. And I don't believe this group is interested in that.
No.
Yeah,
I don't either. I'm just making that statement. This is not about that.
He's wanting to come on here.
Yes.
He's wanting to get information out.
Yes.
Answer questions.
Yes.
And,
And I applaud, let me say this.
Sure.
I applaud Mr. Knott for wanting to come and sit down and talk about the plans. And as he said, listen, the plan that he and I talked about yesterday may be completely different Friday morning.
Probably will be in some cases.
Sure. And when he said that. Mm-hmm. So, I thank Mr. Knott for calling and and reaching out and wanting to come on, and I'm looking forward to having him here for sure. It's just some of these questions are I just don't understand some of the things that you see going on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, I just don't. And, it's just one of those things. So, let's see, Ross, I read somewhere the Board of Education somewhere was having a virtual meeting on kids going to school. Just seems strange to me, if you know what I mean.
That's another great point. If they can't meet together, 6 people, how can you have a classroom with 25 in there?
That's correct. How can you have a bus with 40 kids on it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, again.
Those are fair questions.
They're all fair questions. Randy Bell says Wind Creek has 20 people that tested positive but are still required to work, posted on their Facebook page by an employee. Well, I can tell you this. I don't know anything about what their policies are. I can just tell you that is not our policy by any means of the imagination. So, let's see. Sarge, you said we should just ask questions and keep it informative and nice. Are we not nice?
Sure. Nice guy.
I'm a nice guy. I thought you were a nice guy. I mean, you're a fair guy.
Gonna be fair.
If nothing else.
Gonna be fair.
But at any rate, we definitely are going to have a good time.
Mr. Knott will be on about 8, you said? He'll be here about 8 o'clock or so?
Yes.
Friday?
Yes. So, for those of y'all that are prepared for Rob from Memphis on Fridays, you won't have to slow the video down to a quarter speed to be able to keep up with what's being said. Because Rob's at what, Mach 5?
At least.
So we'll all be able to keep up with what's going on with myself and DJ and Mr. Knott. So looking forward to that, to see what's going on and see what's going to happen with that. A lot of great questions, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of great questions on Friday. So just like, this is another question, and this is not necessarily a school question. This is just a general question. And this one goes to the mask thing. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm sitting here complaining or for or against the mask. I'm not saying that at all. Hey, I wore a mask, and anywhere I walk in, I'm wearing a mask and that kind of thing. So I don't have a problem with that. Legitimate medical question I would ask is this: if the masks work, why do we keep seeing the numbers increase in places that have had a mask mandate in place for a somewhat substantial period of time? And again, I'm not saying not to wear a mask. That's not what I'm saying.
Fair question.
I'm just asking a question.
Fair question.
And I don't know, maybe we need to get some medical experts on here. I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, it's not so much about protecting you as it is protecting other people. That's fine. That still didn't answer the question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm all about protecting everybody. That's great. I'm just saying, if the mask, if it works, why are the numbers still increasing?
Fair question.
So anyway, we'll shut up today about that. So I just, curious, and curiosity will get hold of you sometime. So what else is going on in the Dirty 30 this morning or today? I know
heat wave continues.
Was it hot yesterday? Man, I mean, the humidity had to be at like 170%.
It was hot.
I know that's not possible. I'm just saying it was hot.
Hot.
I mean, as Jeff pointed out, hopefully CNN won't scoop Mr. Knott before we do, as they did with Dr. Mackey.
We've got Mr. Knott tucked away at an undisclosed location. He has no communication devices available to him.
Yeah,
and we've got him on ice. And Friday we'll bring him into Studio B and we'll get the exclusive.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but we're at the top of the list with Dr. Mackey's email list now. I've yet to get an email.
I'm sure he hadn't communicated with anybody.
I need to text him back and say, hey, what about putting us at the top of that email list?
Send me back and put test.
Yeah.
Test. I'm getting this, Doc. Test. We got nothing from you. We thought we were your guy.
Yeah. Okay, so Montgomery's an anomaly, Connie. I'm saying if you know, I was reading last night about places all over the world that have had mask mandates in place for a good while and numbers increasing. And again, I'm not trying to say anything bad or good about that. I'm just asking the question.
I believe everything I read on Facebook. Okay, so that's my disclaimer.
Okay.
I believe everything I read on Facebook. It's got to be the truth, right?
If it's on Facebook, it's the truth.
I saw one this morning at 3:15 when I was up.
Sure.
And it was from one of the counties in Florida. I want to say Escambia, but I won't swear to that. But it was in Florida. And it said a school system was putting in place resources to help teachers come up with a living will.
That is true. I read that as well. But that's true.
That just in and of itself ought to be alarming, should it not? I mean,
well,
when was the last time they did that for teachers?
As far as I know, never. And secondly, the Florida, I don't know what you call them, Teachers Association, whatever they call, they're suing the state right now.
Wow.
Over the...
So you read something along those lines also?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And it was in the same article from a news source that was talking about them suing the state about reopening the schools.
Okay.
And it said the same thing. It said that they had come out and were offering free legal help to write a living will. I don't know about you, but that makes me feel...
That's kind of creepy.
That would make me feel great.
Yeah. I mean, that would give me a boost of confidence.
DJ, you don't mind?
Hey,
you don't mind hooking me up on a living will? Thank you, man.
Mr. Jennings, glad to see you back again for this year. And by the way, are your affairs in order? Hey, what? I'm just here to teach PE. What?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. So I will kind of. I'll find where I was reading that last night, and I'll send it to you and see. I was reading. You know, when you're laying there, and when you're sitting there reading, and you know, I'm sitting there scratching my head, and so I'm like, I just didn't understand it. And again, listen, I'm not saying I'm an opponent of wearing a mask. I am not. So I don't want anybody to take that's why I'm asking that question. This isn't one of those memes that says, hey, if your mask works, why are you worried about it? I'm not saying that. That's not my point at all. My point is solely just asking the question medically, you know, about the masks. Now, let me say this too. Maybe that's because people aren't wearing the mask correctly. And that could be something to do with it. You know, I don't know, but that's the only reason I was asking that question.
You know, my mind works in some crazy ways sometimes, and I'm like you. I wear my mask when I'm out. I went this morning to Elite Nutrition. I masked up and went in and did my deal. I'm going to do what has been asked of us, and we'll continue to do so.
Sure.
But I find myself, and I don't know why, when I have the mask on, I breathe differently. I make a lot of noise.
You over wheezing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. It's not impeding me breathing, but I find myself that sometimes I'll have a little, and I don't know why, but it's just, I'm a little claustrophobic. I've always been that way, and I don't know if it's just the closeness of it has me kind of freaked out or what, but it does.
You know, here's the thing. It's just because we're not used to wearing them. I mean, you know, honestly, if you think about it, if you ever get used to wearing, I mean, look at those guys that work at like Frit Car. You know, they have to get down in those tanker cars. They have to get all suited up and masked up and all that. You know, once you get used to it, you know what I mean?
I'm assuming, and I have not heard anybody say this, I'm just trying to be consistent with what the mandate or what the governor has requested of us. If we have a football game on Friday night, are we going to be expected to wear a mask to the game as a spectator?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought. I didn't know if it was our choice or if they're going to say, hey, I need $8 plus I need you to put that mask on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I the to my knowledge, the only reason you cannot wear or don't have to wear a mask is due to a medical condition. But I can tell you that there are a lot of myths out there about whether or not a business or a place has to let you in. If you say you have a medical condition, they automatically have to let you in because of it. And I can tell you that a company that's, public, private, whatever, I mean, they can make the choice to say, no, we're not asking that question because it's illegal to ask that question, but we don't have to let you in.
I saw a family of shoppers in Walmart on Saturday not wearing masks. It was a what appeared to be a dad, a mother, and 2 children. And they didn't have masks on. It didn't bother me. I knew what I was going to get, and I was just minding my own business, which is what I try to do anyway.
Sure.
But those were the only ones I noticed that did not have a mask on inside.
I went in there a couple times on Sunday, and I didn't see anybody without a mask on. So, looked to me like most everybody was keeping up with it. So, which I applaud. It's certainly what we've been asked to do, and I think if we do what we've been asked to do, then we certainly, hopefully this thing will, what they call flatten the curve or whatever. So let's see here. Hey, that's a great point Carol made. If it's too dangerous to be in jail and they letting convicted criminals out, but they want to send children to school.
Fair point.
That's a great point. Chef Adam said he sounds like Darth Vader in his mask. It's just age, DJ. It's just age.
Could be. Could be.
Mask is two-purpose, mouth and hairnet when not in use. I've seen it used both ways. Well, there you go. Dual-purpose mask. Okay. The leather's for outside activities.
Dang it. Oops. I was wondering why everybody was staring at me. I was getting some just strange looks at the self-checkout.
Well, it could be that you walked in looking like a S&M freak.
Well, if I had my chaps on, I'd have got it. This is just, face wear. It's not that big a deal.
Oh.
You want to wear it or not?
What if you walked in and one arm you had handcuffs hanging off of it? Off of one of their wrists. Walk up there, check out, you put the card in the thing, no handcuffs dangling. You got that leather mask on, the cashier's looking at you, and you can't see her face really because she's got a mask on. And she's,
Have my push buggy up, have 200 candles in there.
Oh, yeah.
I got a scanner.
Oh, man.
Is there a price break per 50?
Yeah. Yes. Right. Let's see here. Jeff says Koreans wear masks all the time and have for many years. Most of your Asian countries have wore masks for years. I say most. Some Asian countries have. Let's see. Jesse James said the ADA doesn't allow blanket policy exemptions either, like some on Facebook would want you to believe. Sarge, you said if you're socially distancing, mask won't matter. Listen, long story, Tracy, but it happened. Trust me, and I didn't want to. But I went in there trying to find something, couldn't find it, went to 2 other places, and was told to go back to Walmart because they actually had it. And so I had to go back. So, and they did have it, as a matter of fact. Tracy Miller's got a good point. You don't have to worry about wearing lipstick worry about how your lipstick looks with those masks on.
I don't worry about
Amanda Gwen made a good point. Most masks are being worn as chin straps. That's probably true. So let's see. Let's see. CB, but we're learning to read eyes really fast. That's a fact, Connie B. Jonathan Owen says, I know this is an unpopular opinion, but if it's that bad and we're trying to flatten the curve, ball games just need to be put on hold. I think DJ made a good point yesterday when he said, I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion, is it not? I mean, it's just we just hadn't gotten a final word. They're holding out to the end.
I don't see a path that leads to them playing.
Yeah, I don't either. You didn't have your tongue stuck out, did you? Price check, register 2, man with 500 candles.
What? Never known the power's gonna go out.
Listen, the one thing I used to love about Kmart was the blue light special.
Yes,
you remember
sir.
that thing?
Oh yeah.
They roll that thing around, they turn that blue light on, and people would just flop to wherever it was at. And I mean,
blue light special.
Yeah, the blue light special. That's back then. Listen,
That was a good marketing hook.
it was. It really was. So, are you a Taco Bell fan?
No.
Okay, well, for some of y'all out there that may or may not be Taco Bell fans, or that may be Taco Bell fans, Taco Bell is removing some items from its menu in an effort to make ordering faster, safer, and easier for employees and customers. The following items will be removed: the grilled steak soft taco, 7-layer burrito, the nachos supreme, the beefy Fritos burrito, the spicy tostada, triple layer nachos, spicy potatoes soft taco, cheesy fiesta potatoes, loaded grillers, chips, and dips. Also, the quesarita will be removed from restaurant menus, but will still be available via online ordering. The changes will go into effect on August 13th. So for those of you that are Taco Bell lovers, if some of those things are your faves, get ready not to get them. Good morning, Megan Ferrer.
Well, let me tell you, Subway's discontinued a couple of items. I found out the hard way last night.
Oh, don't tell me.
My go-to in Subway for a couple of years has been the rotisserie chicken.
Yes.
No longer available.
You're kidding.
I couldn't believe it.
I won't never.
I couldn't believe it.
I have no reason to walk back in there.
Rotisserie chicken's gone.
Why?
So I said, okay.
Had to be one of the hot sellers.
Guess this. I said, okay, that's fine. Give me the roast beef. I don't carry roast beef anymore. Discontinued. Now, so I'll tell you what. You got peanut butter and jelly. I just threw my hands up. I said, what?
A sandwich.
Rotisserie chicken was arguably the best sandwich in the sandwich industry. I loved them.
Well, for Subway, for sure.
I've eaten 300 of them.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. They're great. So that was my go-to sandwich.
Yeah. Gone.
Listen, Smokey said it best. You know, ham, no burger. I mean, Kool-Aid, no sugar. Cereal, no milk.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Gone.
You got a sandwich shop with no chicken and no roast beef?
You can get there's other chicken sandwiches you can get. You can't get the rotisserie chicken.
I mean,
rotisserie chicken sandwich is gone, and the roast beef, that's just a basic deli meat.
Well, sure, that's what I'm saying.
So I ended up going with a pizza sub.
That is wow, that's crazy.
Just when you thought things couldn't get worse.
Look at there. Willie Campbell says the SWAC conference officially canceled their 2020 season yesterday.
Saw that.
I saw this morning where the Pac-12 said that the players in the Pac-12 were about to walk out or something. That was ESPN or Fox Sports, one of those that popped up on the news feed. So I'm not sure. Let's see here. Yeah, I've heard about that store, Crazy Cowboys. I've heard about that, Amanda. Taco Bell removed my taco salad. Uh-oh, Ashley's ill. That's not good. The club is gone too. Yeah. No roast beef.
Roast beef's gone. I don't understand that.
I don't know. Raj says it's a shortage.
Of roast beef?
That's what he says. Yes, that is correct.
Well, put it on Facebook and I'll believe it, Raj.
That is correct, Jess. You can put that down. If they don't have rotisserie chicken, I'm out. I can promise you that. Megan Ferrer says steak and cheese.
I like the steak and cheese. I just like the rotisserie chicken better.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, it was real good. So I hate that they done away with that. Ross says due to food cost.
Okay. Well, I understand.
I know that beef, especially ground beef and that type of thing, is outrageous.
Yeah.
To buy right now.
Yeah.
So Danny Smith said it. No roast beef. I'm done.
It was a blow, no doubt about it.
Tammy McBrayer, Taco Bell will be losing lots of customers and money. Yes, they will. I love Firehouse too, Chef Adam. I agree with that. Great sandwich shop. Great sandwich shop. Kimberly Blair said, no point in being open if there's no roast beef. Kind of hard to argue that, isn't it?
It hurt.
Yeah.
Good point, Aaron Brown.
If it's a shortage of, how's Arby's making?
I guess they've cornered the market.
Maybe they have. I don't know. Hey, how big was that? The county commission, and I'm sure David Stokes, instrumental in, was it $96,000? I think they gave to T.R. Miller High School or Bruton City School System to repave the parking. I don't know, the high school, maybe the elementary school. I think it's elementary school. Repave the driveways and parking areas.
I think it's elementary school, and of course the pre-K, the superintendent's office across the way.
Are they going to? I wanted to mention. I thought that was great. A great thing for the commission to do. Are they going to the grassy area across from the front of the elementary school? Last year I saw them out there cutting some trees and things. I thought maybe they were fixing to prepare that area for parking. Have you heard anything like that, or are they just going to pave what's there, or is this part of doing some of that?
I don't know what project they may have in place. I thought this was to pave the existing.
What's already there?
Yeah.
And that makes sense. I just didn't know. But I thought that was outstanding. Let me ask you this though, and you may not know the answer to this question. I know we're in Escambia County, but does the county do things like that as far as like inside city limits, as far as
Oh yeah,
paving projects? So I didn't know. I knew you were a part of that.
All the districts, have projects they want to get done. I'm not sure how they come up with their list,
right,
or what gets precedent,
right.
Commissioner Stokes is lucky that a vast majority of his is within the city limits of Bruton,
right.
So he doesn't have all the paving projects that some of the other commissioners are probably faced with.
Sure,
but they somehow work it out amongst themselves to make sure that everybody gets a piece of the pie and gets to do what they want to have done.
I got you.
So yeah, it works well with them.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I just didn't know if they were about to try to make that into a.
Now they certainly have some traffic flow issues up there. If they had a little more space to work vehicles in and out of, would help. I don't know if that's on the table or not.
I would say this. I would say I don't know why for years why that grassy area out front has not been converted into a parking area. Mm-hmm. Because I think that would just free up so much of that traffic jam that seems to happen up there at about 2:30 every afternoon. So, and it doesn't matter how many police you have there. So CB says that they cut the trees and some shrubs for aesthetics, I'm sorry, as far as she knows. Well, again, I didn't know. I was just kind of curious. let's see here. What is, let's see what, we may need to go buy some lottery tickets, DJ. No winner for Friday night's Mega Millions drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $113 million jackpot. Or a $90.9 million cash payout. No winner for Saturday night's Powerball.
What's it up to?
$106 million jackpot.
Another good payday.
$86 million cash payout.
That would work.
I'd be all in on that for sure. Might need to go get some lottery tickets, like I said. Let's see here. Let's hunt up some of these name of the days. Okay, here we go. This is getting to be pretty interesting every day. What this day is.
Yeah.
So the first one is great. Maybe I ought to save this. No, I'm not. It's too good to save. So the first one is today is Invite an Alien to Live with You Day.
Come on, man.
Who comes up with this stuff?
Now, would the girl from Weird Science count as an alien?
She'd count as something. I'll tell you what she'd count as at your house as Tatiana. I mean, man, did you not have a crush on her when you were young?
Kelly LeBrock.
Good man. I'm going to shut up.
Kelly LeBrock.
Anyway, next name for today. National Legal Drinking Age Day. You can't make this up. I mean, why should that be a day? I don't get that. Hey, gotta love this one. National Be Someone Day.
Good Lord.
Boy, they handing out trophies for these, aren't they?
Everybody's a winner, man.
Oh, man. It's also National Junk Food Day.
Okay, I'll celebrate.
I was going to say, let's celebrate that one.
You taught me into it.
I'm good on that one for sure. Let's see here. It's Take a Monkey to Lunch Day.
Somebody call Dan.
I mean, Lord, man, you cannot make this up. I don't even know what the next one means, so I'm not even going to say it because I don't even know what that means. And it's also National Tug of War Tournament Day.
National Tug of War
Tournament Day.
Tournament Day.
Like, where do they come up with this stuff? I mean, at some point, I just don't. I don't get it. On this day in 1873, Jesse James, the outlaw,
I was going to say, what?
assists with the first ever recorded train robbery by a gang in the Wild West. How about that?
They jacked it.
James
Jacked
and
the
the
train.
James Younger gang derailed the Rock Island train as it chugged toward Adair, Iowa. The robbers made off with $3,000. That's a little north of $50,000 in today's dollars. $3,000. Derailed a train for $3,000. Or $50,000, if however you want to put it. Let's see. How about this? On this day in 1983, temperatures at Vostok Station, Antarctica, dipped to 128.6 degrees minus 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's going to be a little warmer than that day here.
That is the lowest recorded temperature ever on Earth. Anywhere.
And what was it? Negative 128?
Negative 128.6.
Wow.
That's crazy, is it not?
That's cold.
Yeah, that's cold.
I bet ash was prevalent in that Antarctica.
I bet something was prevalent. That is for sure. Listen, we've got to say this for sure because he is in sometimes with us. Guess who's got a birthday today, DJ? Drive Time family member Jefferson Martin.
Happy birthday, Jefferson.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Jeff. Neighbor of mine, Miss Becky Buffet has
Happy
a birthday today.
Becky.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Miss Becky. Let's see who else here. Another friend and colleague of ours, Josh Stanley,
Happy birthday, Josh.
Happy birthday!
has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Josh. And that's about all I've got on the birthday front. You got anything else?
I don't. I won't be here tomorrow. We need to get the colonel or whatever for arrangements for tomorrow. I'll be out tomorrow, but of course back Thursdays, and of course can't wait to be with Mr. Knott on Friday.
Have you you got something going on
Well,
at the Red? I know
No.
you were talking about some things happening.
No, I'm going to be on with Miss Carol tomorrow on her morning show.
Okay.
Talking the political stuff.
Okay. Well, hey, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So I'll line something up.
Yeah. You can get Rob. I can call Rob and have him call in.
No, hey, we'll try to find. We'll try to find
Let
a
me
different
know.
route. Yeah, we'll find a celebrity
Yeah.
sit-in for that.
Yeah.
For sure. So for those of y'all that want to catch DJ tomorrow, you can catch him on from left to right on your radio dial, 106.3. Is it still Coyote Country?
Coyote Country.
Yeah, out with Miss Carol on the. Do they still call it the Fun with Rod and Gun show?
Yeah. They start that segment usually about 7:30, I think.
Okay, so
Our show comes on at 6:30. She's 6:30 to 8. I'll be there at 6:30, but they do transition into the Rod and Gun about 7:30.
so DJ is going to be out there talking what we don't talk here.
That's right.
And so if y'all want to catch some of that, y'all catch him there, and we'll probably have somebody that maybe has a blue room.
There you go.
It used to be a bar, and
Get Ashley to come on.
listen, that may be tough. I'd love for her to come on.
Yeah.
That may be tough. I don't know. So I don't know, Sargie. That's a good question. So I couldn't answer that. I do not know. But I just know that they definitely, what I read earlier came straight from that website. So, you know what that means? It's time to run.
About that time.
About that time.
Been a great Tuesday. If you've missed your fluoride treatment first thing this morning, find the wagon. Plenty left. Plenty to go around.
Plenty to go around.
Protect those teeth. It's been a good time in here today. Appreciate everybody being in. Hope you have a good, safe day today. Social distancing, mask up if you are out.
Mask up.
Keep plenty of fluids available. It's going to be a bruiser. If you have some time to waste, get back in here tomorrow and put down on your calendar Friday, John Knott, Superintendent of Escambia County School Systems. That's going to be a lot of fun here, listen to what he has to say. So make plans to be with us on Friday for sure. Y'all have a good one. Be safe, be careful. See you on the flip side. Love y'all.